Welcome back to the Desi Times, everybody. Today we have a very special guest, Tarang Joseph,
Hey
born in
man,
Malaysia,
hey, go ahead, go
raised
ahead.
in California a little bit, but spent most of his life in Bangalore. And I do gotta say, I've only visited Bangalore like 5 times in my life. However, I also do want to say in those 5 times I've visited, it's like a really different planet apart from the rest of India.
Really?
But I know you've got this comment a couple times, and because you grew up there, tourists are always going to ask you, like, wow, how do you guys speak so fluently? And what kind of clothes y'all wear?
Yeah, I guess there's a lot of people who grew up abroad that kind of settled in Bangalore. So there's a lot of international schools, and people usually go to college abroad. So Bangalore just generally has, and like there was a tech boom in Bangalore. It's kind of like India's Silicon Valley. So most everyone here speaks English. Like at least, no, that's ignorant of me to say. Most everyone here that like in my circle of English speaking people speak English, I suppose. There's a lot of English speakers here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So first, I do want to go back to, so you were born in Malaysia, which not what everybody thinks about when they first listen to your music.
Uh, I mean, I don't know how much me being like born somewhere has an influence on something. Malaysia is like almost. I love the place, but in terms of my history and how it affected me, it's kind of inconsequential because I was there for 2 months before I moved to the US, and then yeah,
So you are essentially a third culture kid
you
because,
could say that, yeah.
but about that, I just want to ask, is that energy why you gravitate forward? And you do admire Billy Joel, of course, and then the Beatles, the cover you did with Ashwin.
Oh my
Is
God, that
that
was years
just the
ago, man.
Bangalore
I
air?
can't, I can't believe you found that. That's like kind of embarrassing. It's like ninth grade or something. Yeah.
But then transporting from that, like into the fleeting glimpse, the very music video you both did together, Ashwin was, I'm pretty sure the bass, right?
No, he was on guitars.
Oh, my bad. But I think Surya was on the bass.
Surya was on the bass. Yeah, Surya was on the
And
bass.
from that roots of like 8 years ago, I kind of dug up a fleeting glimpse around like 8 years ago. But I also shot um, the four of you, saw the shot of the four of you. Like, there's two significant shots of that. One in a really gray space of you with your keyboard on, and another in a concert club where you just have the mic itself. And that's kind of the unique experience I really see from you. In some plays and some concerts, you're really using your hands on the keyboard.
Yeah,
And in some plays, you really just embrace the mic, you know?
yeah, for sure. I like to do both. I like this. The thing is, I'm a pianist. Like I've been playing for a lot since I was 4, and like that's my primary instrument. And I piano is my medium of expression musically, and so I'm always on piano. But on stage, I like to move. I like to perform, and so sometimes the piano is limiting in that sense because I can't move around too much when my hands are tied down. So for some songs where it's not that important, I like to like just really connect with the audience and move, and yeah, I like to groove. So yeah.
And I've seen a lot of that from your recent Liquid Sunshine concert. And
Yeah,
thank you for posting those clips too, man. Like,
I'm gonna post more, dude. I'm gonna post more. Like I have so much footage. that I haven't posted. I just wrapped up a music video shoot like yesterday, so I've been very busy, but I'm gonna get to all of that. So
For sure, yeah, I've seen that through your stories.
yeah.
But when you see that Fleeting Glimpse music video now, do you see four kids just jamming, or do you see the seeds of Liquid Sunshine vision even back then?
Definitely not Liquid Sunshine Vision. I you can never you always see something. Um Fleeting Glimpse was not, it was a little more than four kids just jamming. It was in our own heads it was very serious, you know. It was like we were trying to be like great, like we were not trying to be just like a kid band, we were trying to be more than that. So it was more than four kids just jamming. And I always wanted to be a musician, like from the very, I don't know when I had that decision, but I never entertained the idea of like me doing anything else. I tried, like I did I've dabbled in things here and there and did not like it. And I was just dead set on being a musician since I was a kid. Somehow, I don't even know how. I think it's kind of ignorant and naive to just decide, but like I just always knew. And um, you can never see forwards as to exactly how it's going to turn out because it's so dependent on so many factors like the geography in which you grow up, the music the people around you, that musicians around you are listening to and playing, the kind of and it's all kind of centered by the vision you have for yourself. I always had a vision for myself being like a solo artist, not a part of a band really, a front man. And
Yeah.
it's centered by the vision, but like there's so many factors that influence where you get to. And I find I've gotten, like I think I'm at the very beginning, man. I'm just at the very beginning now. I'm finally getting like kind of good, I think. So you know, um yeah, I you can never see forwards. It only makes sense looking back. That's what I would say. But I always knew I wanted to do this.
Yeah, I get that. And speaking of, I've listened to all your songs, and I know the first many since 2020 to 2023 have all been singles primarily.
Yeah.
But we do got to talk about the pivot to Liquid Sunshine.
Yeah, for sure.
But specifically, what I want to know is you went from soulful ballads to the Liquid Sunshine 80s disco funk era.
Yeah.
Was
Yeah.
that a calculated risk to wake up the Indian indie scene? Or was it just you finally letting your inner Bruno Mars / Michael Jackson fan take the wheel?
Okay, so a couple of things. Well, I think it's the first disco funk. Okay, so I was doing a lot of shows in 2022, and like COVID had just like sort of lifted, and I started playing a lot. I had a lot of slow songs, and like the first thing was I actually love slow and sad music. Like I love music with feels. You know, that's like my jam. But I would say that's one side of me. The other side of me likes anything with groove to it. Groove. Like it doesn't have to be disco. It can be like R&B, but anything that's groovy, you know? Like that's, you could say that's like kind of central to what I like to do. I got to a point where I was like watching my like audiences in 2022 where I was playing all my music and they were like ballads. They're all like this and they're like, you know, not moving. It's so sad. And I was like, dude, I've always wanted to give them a party, you know, with my show. And like that was sort of like the first line of thinking, you know. I want people to like dance and like have a blast at my show. So I was also at the time just so happens to do so much of what you listen to comes out to what you make. I was listening. There was like I was listening to disco. A couple of my friends and my band members were listening to disco. Like I was listening to the old Michael Jackson stuff. I was listening to this band Jamiroquai a lot. I was listening to um, Frank Moody, like a bunch of new disco artists, and like it all stemmed from a combination of those things. And it's the first project I made that was cohesive because it was the first time I thought, okay, I'm gonna make a disco project. I didn't think I'm gonna just make something. I had like a vision for the first time, and that takes time.
Yeah. And speaking of those kind of emotions mixed with disco, my favorite has got to be Make It Right.
Oh,
Because,
really?
the piano melody just makes it a little bit emotional, a little bit of a love scene. But when you get to the bass, you hit up the bass. And so that's what really resonates with me more.
Nice, man. That's cool. That's like the one R&B song on an otherwise disco project. I like that song a lot too. Um, I like all of them. What is my favorite one? I really can't pick a favorite on that record, but
That's valid.
maybe it might be my favorite. Like ironically, that's probably like I feel like it has the most that I'm trying to say, and that's probably my favorite song on the record. Yeah. I also really
So,
like Liquid Sunshine, even though there are things about it that I would change now. It's um, it's a special song for me, so yeah.
it's cool, man. So, what I want to go into next is really the art, like the cover. You're wearing the brown jacket, like your traditional business outfit, as I also seen Superhuman and your profile pic. And you were just really sprinting at the beach. I mean, it's really telling because, waves in the bottom and then the sun at the top. It all makes perfect. But
I just want to ask you,
visually, I had
does it
to.
look like a beach?
It does.
It does.
Did I get
Okay.
that wrong?
That no, that's okay. Everybody like I actually when someone was doing reached out to me to do press for the song, they actually wanted to instead of writing about the song, they wanted to write about the cover because it was so intriguing to them. That's what the journalist told me. It's not a beach. How can you see there's a beach? It's not a beach actually. It's the rooftop of my parents' apartment.
Damn.
It's got a like a pool. So
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I guess the floor was a little bit brown tiles, so it kind of camouflaged with the beach, I
Yeah, no,
guess.
and you're not the first one to think that. A couple of people have thought that. Where did you shoot this? Where did you shoot this? This on the beach or something? Yeah. It's not a beach. It's my parents' apartment.
But like what hasn't changed though is your outfit and like you running. So
Yeah.
there's a sport called cross country in America, which is a little bit of a marathon, except it's like 30 minutes max, and it doesn't take a couple days. But seeing you run on that platform in a professional blazer created this crazy contrast. Is that jacket your armor or uniform for this era?
Yeah,
Why
you could say
bring
so. It's
that
my
formal
uniform.
energy?
It's definitely you could say it's my uniform for the Liquid Sunshine era. I wanted to give summer, with everything that I was visually portraying, and I feel like I really like that shot of the light reflecting on it, and like the color grade is very intentional. It's all to give summer.
Yeah. And right after the EP, you released One Track Mind. And that's a really catchy single because, it's got the disco, but I also love the art, like you walking in front of that street with the autos and cars and bikes.
Yeah,
Until then, I never really seen you in modern India traffic. Because as a
yeah.
listener, I would have been confused for you being in another country. I wouldn't have known you were exactly in India. But what
Dude,
I gotta say
I'm so
is,
glad you said that. That was so part of my intention to put that in the art because actually my references, I find how I make decide what my cover is. I kind of like I kind of have an idea of what I want, like you know what I'm trying to say in the song and what I visually like see when I hear the song and I made the song, and
Yeah.
and then you find references for like frames and things that look cool, you know, visually, and maybe recreate it in your own way with the song in mind. And when you find references, you find them on Pinterest, and they're all really pretty, and none of them are in India. So all my references were like shots from New York, like walking down a zebra crossing, you know. And when we were shooting it, like my photographer had that in mind. And so when we were doing the editing, he was like, "Okay, dude, you know what? You know, like there's no way we can't get this." So first he actually removed all the traffic from the image using Photoshop, and to create that like the reference had no traffic actually, and then he kind of changed the bridge to more trees, you know, and
Yeah.
what ended up happening is like I saw that and I was like, dude, it's kind of like this image of this bustling Indian traffic has a charm to it. You know, we don't have to meet the reference. Like, let's make it look like it's shot here. It's shot on MG Road, which is like a popular road in Bangalore and central Bangalore, and like this is peak like Bangalore traffic, MG Road, and I want to keep that in the image. And I'm just so glad. Like it's cool that you picked up on that, man. Like that was like an intentional decision.
And personally, if I were to visualize a music video out of this, I would really guarantee it would be kind of like a James Bond scene. Really people watching and really spying on
Yeah. I mean,
interest in particular.
there is a visualizer for the song. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh man, yeah, I'll check on it after for sure.
Yeah, I mean, but it's kind of got that vibe. You know, me in this like brown suit, um, James Bond vibe. I guess you could say that.
But also musically, you let the band take over for nearly like 2 minutes in the instrumental outro, as I saw in that latest YouTube video from you. Like, was that your way of saying, I don't just write pop songs, I lead a band as well? Of course, I do understand, like, band has always been part of your story, and your bandmates have always been your brothers, best friends in childhood days.
Actually, there was no like statement to be made with that, man. Like, I was not trying to make a statement with the song. I just, I just like it. It sounded cool. Like the instrument, I play at a jazz club like once a week here in Bangalore. So I think that's sort of we play like R&B, jazz, like soul music at the club, and I feel like that sort of like led me to more instrumental leanings in some sense, but so that came very organically. The breakdown, it sounded cool to me. I wanted to put it in. It was not me trying to deliberately make any sort of statement. I think now when I hear the song, I think it makes a statement because I think it's like a dope like instrumental section. Like I listen to it and I'm like proud of it. I'm really proud of the song. I think I kind of like kind of just treaded the lines between it being like a pop song and it being like a musician song, and I kind of hit that balance right, I think. So I'm proud of it. That's
Yeah.
sort of what I'm
And
trying to do a lot of the time. Not because I'm trying to impress anyone, or maybe I was, you know, maybe a couple years ago, you got like, you know, you want to prove yourself or whatever, you know, to the musicians around. I think the new thing for me is that is like completely gone. You know, like I know, I know that what I'm capable of, and I don't need to prove it. Like that, the need for it kind of just vanished, and so I just want to say what needs to be said, and like musically and lyrically, and yeah, I think it's a good place to be. Yeah. Sorry, I think I lost
yeah,
your question. What was your question?
no, it was really on like like claiming whether you don't just write pop songs anymore, lead a band now on, but you've already answered it. Like,
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
but it's a trend for everybody, including today's artists. Like their first few releases and first few mixtapes need to be representing themselves, telling them who, where, and why about them. It needs to touch the audience. But after you've gone over that threshold, it's really just about having fun at this point.
Yeah. 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 I relate to that. When you're like getting started, you're like, oh, dude, I have something to prove. You know, I mean, not like I still have things to prove, but not musically. I feel like I'm in a place where people who actually have played with me and have heard my work know I'm good at what I do. I'm skilled, so I don't feel the need to like go out and like tell it to people, you know, or like show it to people, you know. I just want to be sincere in my art now. Like that's top priority. Like saying what needs to be said. Don't throw a 1 minute instrumental section in there to show off. Only if it serves the song. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So now let's go back in time to 2022. Probably your number one collaboration. And fun fact, I explored you through Marianne Alexander.
Oh, cool,
So
man.
I listened to like 4 songs of her.
Dude,
And
she's awesome,
one of the
man.
first.
She's so good. It's cool because now she's like popping off. So yeah, it's cool. Like people like you discover me too through her. It's like it's really cool. And yeah, man, it was amazing to work with her. She's so talented, and I really think I've seen, like, from an external perspective, seen her like come into herself over the years and find herself musically and like her persona. It's cool to see, man.
Yeah, but I especially do want to talk about Ranj rapping as well. Because really back in the day, it was jazz before hip hop really took over in the West Coast over here
Yeah.
and eventually really around the world. But it's only a very few times we get to hear jazz and hip hop fused together. And this was really the biggest opportunity right here in Superhuman.
Yeah, well, I think Superhuman, I think that what I like about it most is that it's very much a pop song. You know, what makes it sound jazzy is that little instrumental break in the middle, and yeah, and then the hip hop and ranch. I think it's a cool balance. I think it's a good song. You know, like I listen to it now, I'm like, okay, shit, you know, it grooves and the mix is tight, and like, yeah, I like it. Um, Again, nothing was deliberate to sort of make anything fuse jazz and hip hop or anything. I made a song that I thought grooved, and I thought, hey, you know, like I made this in my bedroom, like the first draft, and I actually wrote the intro vocals that Marianne singing. I wrote those intro vocals with my voice. It was not hitting. I was like, I want. First, I was like, I want like an African American like singer, female singer to sing this, you know,
Yep.
and like that would be great, you know, like gospel vibes. So I reached out to someone on Fiverr, you know, and I was like, hey, can you sing this song? I wrote down all the parts. I sent it them as sheet music and stuff. I sent them all the layers. She sent it back, and it was terrible. It was so bad. It was so bad. It was unusable. I'd spent like $70, and I didn't have much money at the time, so that was like money down the drain. And like $70 in the rupee is a lot, you know. Like I know $70 is not much
Yeah.
there. Yeah, rupee is not very strong. Yeah, so I was like, okay, shit. What do I do now? And then I was working with Amrit, who goes by Doc Oz, who actually contributed to the song quite a bit because he was really like making a lot of boom bap beats. So I made the initial drums, like, but he took it, changed the sounds, made it more boom bap, made it groove a lot better. So like that beat is a lot of the Doc Oz sauce in it. And but yeah, coming back to Marianne, like he was like, okay, these vocals that you got don't work. Why don't you just get Marianne? I'll text her. And Marianne was actually, I also knew Marianne because she was my senior, 1 year senior in college. We went to the same college. I mean, we didn't talk in college and stuff,
Okay.
but like we'd seen each other and maybe like said hi to each other once. But she was my senior in college, and he knew her because they'd like planned to work together. So he hit her up, and then we got in touch, and I sent her the song. Dude, the crazy thing was, instead of Ranj, my older brother is close friends with Hanuman Kind. Okay.
Okay.
And he was initially supposed to be on the song as the rap. And that's what me and Amrit, my producer, had decided. Okay, the idea was we're gonna leave 16 bars, and Suraj, Hanuman Kind, is gonna rap on this. This is before like he like blew up
Yeah.
and stuff, you know. And then he was already like kind of like getting a lot of work at the time, and he was very busy. So like it was just getting delayed for a long time. I would text him. I was like, "Hey man, have you in the rap?" And he'd be like, "Oh, not yet. I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna get to it." Then he was like, "Oh yeah, I kind of started something." And then he was like, "You know what? I don't think I have the bandwidth to do this right now. Maybe you should find someone else." And I was like, "Shoot, I have an empty rap section." So then I was telling Marianne that we were talking, and she was like, "Why don't you get Ranj? She raps too, and she's a singer who raps." And I was like, "Okay, sick." So I just sent Ranj the track, and Ranj was like, "This is sick. I'm gonna hop on it." And then she just hopped on it, and it just all happened so quick. Like, yeah, but the video took time. It took a lot of time to plan the video and shoot it and all of that. But yeah.
That's a really big shocker right there. Like, I wrote a blog about Hanumankind's album Monsoon Season a couple
Okay.
months ago. So it's really crazy to see that your little brother's close with him.
My older
But
brother. My older
it's-
brother. Yeah.
Older brother, sorry
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
But he did study over here, like back in 2017.
Yeah, he did,
Or
he
in the.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
But yeah,
it's,
that's
it's,
cool,
it's a
man.
small little bubble over here of musicians that all kind of
Yeah.
knew each other, and it was like a scene.
Yeah,
going
no, because
around.
like it kind of reminds me of the Silicon Valley right now over here. Like, you know, we see a lot of techies, skyscrapers, but we kind of hide away from the quiet stars really in the underground. And that's what I feel like really happened in 2022. And you guys finally got exposed really around 2025 or 2024.
Yeah, yeah, man. Like, it's really cool to see everyone's doing different things. Marianne is doing her R&B thing, and she's like killing it with the social media stuff. Ranj is like doing this, like sort of empowering hip hop thing, which is really cool to see. And she's really talented. She's so talented. Suraj is taking it global. It's awesome, man. It's really, I feel privileged to be a part of this scene and to have worked and know all these people.
So I know for sure that collaboration unlocked a new confidence in you because you had to face adversity, you know, really lost some contacts, lost some money, but got resources that you didn't even realize you were going to get.
Yeah, I would say it was a challenge making that video. Oh my god, because I was in college and I was writing. Dude, I had exams the day before my shoot day one, and then I had an exam. Like I was shooting and doing exams and playing shows and like doing college. It was very hectic time to be like doing this all by myself. Like I was like from the fine, like, you know, from everything about it, the planning, the ideas, like before you get like kind of have something, you know, where people want to come in and work with you, you got to build from ground up. And if you're doing it while going to school, college full time, like it's just intense. Like, yeah. So
Yeah, I get you. I'm kind of experiencing that right now too.
are you in college
I haven't
right now?
released any. Yeah, currently in San Jose State right now, and
Cool, man. And what are you studying?
I'm studying advertising, and I also minor in film.
Cool, that's a cool combination. Nice.
But like, ironically, that degree, when I was in the radio station, joined for fun, and realized like there's a void, that there isn't a lot of Desi hip hop played in the station. It's always urban. So they just convinced me to do it. I signed up, and then the Instagram has been really showing me, the algorithm has been showing me that content is really vital over here in the Bay Area, and it's really a void for me to fill.
Amazing, amazing. I love to see it, bruh. I wish you the best. I really hope. Yeah.
But actually, I was considering moving to Bangalore back in the summer.
What? How come?
But then, yeah, it was mainly because like I felt like I wasn't really useful over here because I watched a lot of Indian movies and really stick to Indian food a lot more, and of course, love Desi hip hop and Desi R&B. So it's like, what I'm gonna do is spending thousands of dollars over here because the Bay Area over here today is extremely expensive, one of the most expensive valleys and counties in the world. But then, really, as I started creating, I slowly realized that if I leave, that void is going to stay in the Bay Area. Like, there isn't going to be anybody who's going to inspire the next generation to establish the Desi scene over here.
Dude,
'Cause
absolutely.
it's
I
super
think
tough.
there's actually I think there's one guy doing it in New York. This guy Rajid, like yeah.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So you should do it for the Bay Area, man. I think there is a void and you could do it because coming here there's a lot of people doing it here already, you know? And maybe it'll be cool to see, but you'll just be one of them. Whereas in the Bay Area, if you actually start, making content, like talking about it, because there's interesting things happening here in Bangalore, Bombay, and there's a lot of audience for it, like in like the Bay Area and New York, and like lots of Indians are all over the US, so
Yeah, and so far I've written at least 14 to 19 songs. Locked
Damn.
up 6 songs for my debut EP,
That's
and
crazy,
then
man.
about 8 to 10 songs for my first album. Because like over here in the West Coast, like albums and EPs are heavily emphasized. But of course, in the Desi scene, for the most part, it's best to really release singles. But I'm kind of doing a hybrid approach.
Have you seen that? Like, I want to ask you, have you seen that people in the Indian scene here, they release a lot more singles than EPs and albums?
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I've seen it through Hanuman Kind, but I've also seen it through like 12, 14 plus artists. Because I played like 8 artists in every show. In like Desi scene specifically. And I usually play 4 of their songs from their EP or album.
Interesting. I think people here just kind of, it's like a bubble, people do what everyone else is doing. And if you're dropping singles, everyone else is just going to drop singles, I guess, Yeah.
But yeah, I do want to go back to that very single time machine where you did react and you commented.
Yes. Because that was like one of the first songs I wrote for my solo project. And in the grand scheme of things, one of the first songs, like if you look at sheer volume, it was in the first 20 songs I wrote. I think I wrote 20 songs over like, and by songs I don't even mean fully finished songs, like 20 songs with a verse, chorus, and an idea between the ages of 15 and 20, and then like after that it was just like so many, dude. I've written since December, maybe like 20. So it's like but Time Machine is one of the first things I made, like, so it's a special one, and I really like how the violins sound on that. So
let's talk about the visuals. the shirtless figure, you did look a little bit like a monk, but you also look like someone stripping away their ego, ironically relating to Superhuman. Sorry about my ego.
Wow.
As creative director myself,
That's a cool
was that your
connection.
way of showing the raw Turing? Or who was that character to you?
I'm gonna be real with you. Um, when I was around that time, I had no idea what to do with my covers. You know, like I don't like most of them. The song made me feel like I was floating, so I thought it would be cool. That's literally it.
Yeah, that's solid, bro. I don't disagree with that because whenever I daydream about the past, like I'm usually just in ghost mode, floating in the sky, thinking
Yeah,
of my
yeah, yeah,
past.
yeah, and yeah, it kind of pulls at my heartstrings a little bit. That song. I would. There's a lot of things like I would reapproach to how I made the song. I'm a lot better at as a vocal, as a singer, and as an arranger now. But I think it's the reason I have all these old songs up is because it's my journey, and it shows progress and evolution, and people like you connect with the old stuff too. It's cool, man. It's really cool to see.
Yeah. So you recently completed your tour of 4 specific places in India, very populated places for hip hop in particular.
Yeah,
And I'm pretty sure you really embraced it, even if it's a small venue. I'm pretty sure a really high audience.
yeah. We played uh, to pretty packed crowds in Bombay and Goa. Yeah, it was both shows in Go. Yeah, Bombay and Goa were pretty packed, man. It was surprising to see on my first ever India tour that hey, there's so many people who are coming out to listen to me. It was cool.
And then, really looking at the concluded question over here. When you eventually bring the Liquid Sunshine tour to the United States, what is the one thing you need on your rider?
On my
Is
rider.
it specific food, tea, or just good food vibes? Okay, not rider, like rider, RIDE.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I know, I know. What do I need on my rider? Maybe a bottle of champagne, bro. You know, to
It's valid.
celebrate.
Like I immediately saw that reflection on Make It Right because
Yeah,
wearing that red outfit,
yeah,
red
yeah, yeah,
suit.
yeah, 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 for sure. Yeah, that was kind of the vibe I was going with that song, like jazzy.
Yeah.
Sick,
All
man.
right.
Are we wrapped?
Yep, that's a wrap.
Amazing, dude. Sick. Thank you so much for having me, and it was a pleasure to talk to you. And I I think I hope I was able to answer your questions well.
Yeah, and you could have been anywhere you wanted, and you could have approved anybody you wanted. And I appreciating you really commenting on my post that day. It really did touch my heart, man.
Cheers, bro. Cheers. I'm so
But
happy to hear that.
anyways, if y'all are interested, check out Tarang Joseph on Spotify. And Tarang, if you want to let him know your Instagram handle, stuff too.
Yeah, you can find me at Tarang Joseph, Tarang Joseph, on Instagram, YouTube. It's the same thing. Yeah.
All right, so y'all just tuned to another episode over here. We had a great conversation with Tarang Joseph. Stay tuned for more content.
All right.